Hey everybody, Monty Yeagers, the Cast Iron Marketer. Today I'm going to record a quick video showing you how to reseason your cast iron. Today I'll be doing a wok that I had purchased for my mother when I was in high school back in the late 80s. And I'll show you how it looks right now and what I'm going to do to strip all the seasoning off it and start it over from scratch basically. So let's get started. So here's the wok I was telling you about. I bought this for my mother back in Christmas of 88 or 89, I believe. And at the time I was 14 or 15. And buying a piece of cast iron this big for a teenager is rather expensive, I thought at the time. And so it's a Lodge brand. It's there on the bottom. And I was on Lodge's website recently, and they don't make this style wok anymore. In fact, I don't think they make woks at all. And so it's just kind of a rare piece to have, I suppose. So as you can see, kind of get a close up here. You can see the seasoning is stripping away. So I figured this would be a good time to go ahead and do a video on how to restore any piece of cast iron, I guess, using the self-clean option on your stove. And so let's just go ahead and throw that guy in there. Turn the light on. I'm going to place it upside down. That way, if anything will flake off, it'll just fall to the bottom of the oven and it'll burn off. I'm not exactly how hot this oven gets when it's in the self-cleaning mode, but when this cycle is over, that wok will be a rust-looking color almost, and then once that's over with, I will go ahead and demonstrate how to start reseasoning your cast iron. So let's close the door, turn the light off, self-clean. In about 4 hours and 20 minutes, that thing should be nice and everything should be flaked off. And so we'll just see you in the next step. Alright, so it's been about 6 hours since the oven turned off. I went out to do some chores and running around with the wife tonight. So as you can see, I'll pull this guy out of here so it's nice and cooled off. And you can definitely see how, here's another skillet I got over here, my 10-inch. And you can see the wok here after being in the oven for the self-cleaning cycle is pretty much, it's got a rust color to it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take it over to the sink, scrub it out with some warm water and a sponge, and get all this stuff off of here. And then we will start with adding the vegetable shortening to it and baking it in the oven again. So see you on the next step. Alright, so now we got it over to the sink, and I'm going to rinse it off with some warm water. So if you want to come over here and get a close-up on this, my trusty camera guy. So I just got some warm water. Just going to take a regular sponge like this and just wipe all the excess off here. Kind of see what it looks like. It's just a dull gray color through both sides here. Just keep rubbing it until you see all that rust come off. Might take a little bit of extra rubbing, elbow grease. I'm just going to keep doing it until I see the water is kind of, looks like it's pretty clear anyway. Try to hit all the edges of it, the corners. I guess the rounds on this particular case. There's no corners on this guy. These grooves might be a little tricky to get. Alright, so now I'm going to grab this towel over here. Dry it off. can kind of see how it looks. Okay, this thing is, I don't, still got some on it, but it doesn't look too bad, I guess. So I can try scrubbing a little bit more. So I'll do that in a little bit, and we'll, once I get it all off, we'll go to the next step. All right, so I found a little piece of SOS scouring pad. I normally don't recommend this, but it's got the rust was still on there a little bit. So this one here that I had a little bit of soap, so I'm just scrubbing it off. You can kind of see that the rust is coming off a little bit better. So we'll give it a rinse. And it's starting to come off a little bit better, so we'll just keep doing this for a little bit until I get it all off, and then we'll start reseasoning it. Alright, so I got most of the rust off with the SOS pad, and once I got everything dried off, I took it over to the stove here, got it on medium heat for about 5 minutes, and it's warm to the touch up here. So what that's doing is it's heating up the metal, and the pores in the metal are opening up. So what I'm going to do first, or next, is turn the heat off. Handle's hot, so be careful. And I just got just some vegetable shortening. That's what I use to season my cast iron after every time I use it. So I just got an old shirt rag here that I use, and you're gonna, I don't know, just start off with whatever, a small amount, and you're just gonna work it in all over the iron, coating it and making sure there's no dog hair in there, because we have a dog that sheds profusely. So just gonna keep adding it, not gonna cake it on, just gonna make it shine and hit every spot, top and bottom. Any excess that I have on there, I'm just gonna kind of flip my rag around and try to get that off of there and soak it up a little bit with that rag, other part of the rag. So flip her over. And just so crucial to hit every nook and cranny. This is a little bit harder because it's got this in here, these grooves in here, so I might have to do something different. Like a toothbrush or something. But once I get this all on here, once I get it worked in these grooves, we'll go to the next step and we'll stick it in the oven, so stay tuned. Alright, so I was able to get a toothbrush and hit those grooves with some shortening, and I got the oven preheated at 350, and we're going to stick it in there for about an hour. So what I did here is I put a pan underneath for when I'm going to place it upside down. So if anything drips, it'll drip on that pan, in theory. So leave it in there for an hour, and we're going to repeat this process about 2 or 3 more times until she starts turning black. And once that's all done, we'll show you the finished product. Okay, so here's the wok after 2 coatings of vegetable shortening on it. And you can kind of see it's starting to get a little bit dark. So I'm just going to add another layer on there and put it in the oven for another hour at 350. I'm kind of doing this at stages. I've been going to, last night I did it before I went to bed, and then I did it this morning before I got up and got ready for church. So I'm back from church now, and so I had it in the oven. I let it preheat for about 10 minutes in the oven, and so it's pretty hot to the touch now. And then I'm going to add another layer of shortening on here, and we'll get it back in the oven for an hour, and then we'll see how it looks then. Well, there it is. It's been through the, I guess, cycle, if you will, about 4 times. The last time I did it, I bumped up the heat to about 400 degrees, and left it in there for about an hour and a half, and then I shut the heat off, and then I just let it cool down. So she's cool to the touch now, and you can definitely tell the difference, obviously. And it doesn't quite look like that, obviously, like that one there that came out of the factory. But here, as I start using this wok more often, it'll start getting the patina finish on the bottom, and the seasoning will start building up on it. And just after every use, go ahead and when you're done using your cast iron cookware, just to rinse it out with some warm water, get all the food out of there, dry it off, put it back on the stove, warm it up till it's warm to the touch around the handle, and put a coating of vegetable shortening on there, and just wipe it down. Well, there you have it. That's just one way of reseasoning some cast iron cookware. It's one of the easier ways, I believe, doing it. Unfortunately, it does create a little bit of smoke in your house, so I was able to open the windows. It's January here in western Wisconsin when I recorded this video. It wasn't too cold outside, so I got most of the smoke out of my house while doing it. And if you enjoy this video, please consider subscribing to my YouTube channel. Go to my blog at cookingwithcastiron.net for some more tips and tricks and some recipes. Also, if you're on Facebook, go ahead and like my Facebook fan page. I'll leave all the links below in the description. Again, Monty Eggers, the Cast Iron Marketer. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.